Here we are again on the Get Foxy show. This time, our guest today is doc.Peace Uche. Peace, thank you so much for taking the time today. I appreciate you being on the show. You are a transformational rhythmic speaker. For folks that aren't familiar with that, what is a transformational rhythmic speaker and how did you become one?
That's a great question. First of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. And yes, so I am a transformational rhythmic speaker, and that basically means that I use the power of spoken word to transform mindsets. So I basically share the stories from my life and the lessons that I've learned to help you live your best life. And I became a transformational speaker. That's another story, actually. So I'm actually a pharmacist by trade. Mm-hmm. And I realized about a few years ago that even though I was a pharmacist by trade, I was a spoken word artist at heart. So I started writing and performing spoken word at different events, such as open mic nights and things like that. And I found that there was so much power in expressing myself and hearing others express themselves in such a raw manner. And so I decided that I wanted to take this power of spoken word outside of just the open mic night setting and spread it all over, because there's so much power in sharing your story. It's a vulnerable state, yes, but it actually helps build connections, right? When you share pieces of your story that no one else knows, or especially when you're sharing it with a stranger, right? It helps you build these connections almost immediately, right? And by sharing a piece of yourself, they're more open to share a piece of themselves. And so I found that by becoming this speaker, that I was able to build all these amazing, authentic relationships. And so now I'm a transformational rhythmic speaker. I speak at conferences, I speak at schools, I speak at charity events, and it's really what I'm meant to do. It's my life's purpose.
That is such an interesting juxtaposition between pharmacy and spoken word. But at the same time, I mean, we all kind of have a little bit of an artist in us, don't we?
I completely agree. There is a little bit of an artist in each of us. And when we tap into that, then, you know, we give ourselves the opportunity to express our full selves.
Yeah. And this is, I think, important. I've talked about this before on other episodes about authenticity and how this is so important for us in regards to sharing our story, in being authentic and really opening up and sharing those vulnerable pieces of ourselves, because it does make us more relatable and
yes,
human.
Yes, definitely. And when you open those doors, it helps other people open those same doors. Instead of building those bridges or building those walls that we put up, you're basically breaking those down naturally and organically. And there's so much beauty in that.
Heck yeah. I've had to experience this personally with my son going through cancer treatment. And I built up such a wall because I felt like I had to be, I mean, growing up in cowboy culture in Wyoming, I felt like I had to be this big, strong person for my family and not show any sort of weakness while I was crumbling inside. And eventually I had to kind of have a breakdown to have a breakthrough and realized it's okay. I can share those stories of weakness and vulnerability.
Yeah.
And people relate more with that than the guy who, okay, he just powers through and he's Superman. He's perfect. He's what, you know, you can't relate with that kind of guy.
No.
You can.
None of us are perfect.
Who's broken. Because we all are.
We all are in different ways, I'm sorry to hear about your son. I hope he's doing better now.
Yes, he was diagnosed when he was 5, and now he's 12, and he's been in remission for several years. Life's good.
Happy to hear.
So it is important for someone to share their story, but there's also a lot of reasons why we don't. What are some of the common reasons for the average person kind of struggling in sharing their story? What do you see are the blocks that keep us from sharing our stories?
The biggest block, I believe, is fear. And fear of so many different reasons. Fear of putting yourself out there and being rejected. Fear of not being understood. And mostly the fear of the unknown, right? You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what could come out of sharing your story. You don't know if that's going to help other people. And I just want to let people know that when you do share your story, you don't know who you could affect, who you could touch. And that's the beauty of it. And so it's important for us to kind of overcome that fear, not just for the benefit of ourselves, the benefits of the possibility of making connections, the benefits of the possibility of building relationships, but for other people. It's the possibility of giving other people, shining your light and giving other people the courage to do the same. And so that's what I found along this journey, is that by sharing these stories, I'm basically giving others the opportunity to share their story as well. And so one of the things that I teach is the GOLD method. And this art of being gold, it stands for genuine, original, loving dreamer. And when you tap into what it is that makes you genuine, your authentic self, what it is that makes you original, what it is that makes you loving, because when you act from a place of love, you attract love, and what it is that makes you shine, that makes you really dream for something bigger. When you tap into those, when you address those things, you help others address those things in themselves. You shine your light and you allow others to shine their light. Does that make sense?
Oh my goodness. That is what I would call alchemy, personal alchemy. You know, you're transforming that energy, tapping into those sources and allowing yourself to really truly express. I mean, that's big stuff.
Yes. You build confidence, you form connections, not just confidence in yourself, but confidence in others. And I think that's something that we really need to realize. Like I grew up actually in a single parent household. I'm actually a product of a single mother immigrant. My mother moved here from Nigeria when she was around my age, started a family. Well, she got married. That didn't work out, but she had started a family, and she became a nurse, and she raised us to believe that education is the key to success. And that's one of the reasons why I became a pharmacist. I wanted to provide medication education to other people. And then when I became a transformational rhythmic speaker, I realized that not only can I provide medication education now, but I can provide life education. I can share these amazing stories from my life and the lessons that I've learned to help people, to empower people to share their story and to live their best life in doing so. And so I'm so grateful for my mother and teaching me these life lessons that I'm able to now pass along this journey. But I haven't always been like this. I'm actually a very shy person. Believe it or not, I would hide behind my sister, my older sister. When people asked when strangers her name, I would nudge her and say, "You tell them my name. I don't want to talk to strangers." You know, I would hide behind my bed. That was my most comfort. The best comfort spot in the house was underneath my bed. That's where I felt the most comfortable. But so it took a while for me to get out of my shell. And one thing that I learned in that process that really helped push me from being that shy girl to where I am now is the understanding that there is no one like me. There is no one that has the exact gifts and talents that I have. And if I don't use my gifts, my talents, my ability to memorize, my ability to flow, to engage, to share my story in such a powerful way, if I don't use these talents of mine, then they'll go completely unused. And that's what I encourage other people. Everyone has a certain set gifts, innate gifts and talents that they've been blessed with. And if they're not using that set of gifts and talents, then it'll just go unused, right? And it's such a waste. So that is the one thing that got me to where I am now, that pushed me to get on that platform, share my story, use my talents, and express all of me.
Where did you learn this idea? Did you learn that from a family member or a friend, or how did that come about? Because there's so many people that don't realize that yes, you have your gifts and talents, and if you aren't using them, you're doing the world a disservice.
Oh, definitely. It's such a disservice, not just to ourselves, but to other people, right? You're hiding those. It's like burying your talents underneath the ground. They're not going to grow. It's not a tree. You have to use them, and that's how they grow. And so, yeah, I learned this actually a few years ago. I was actually working as a pharmacist full-time, and I had the car, I had the apartment, I had just everything that you would think that would make me just happy and feel like I'm succeeding in life. But I felt like that I still wasn't content. I wasn't really fulfilled. And so I was at a family wedding, and I happened to be wearing all gold, this beautiful gold sequin dress from head to toe. It was absolutely beautiful. And I was sitting there wearing it, and I was watching everyone interact with each other. And I mean, everyone is wearing their shiny outfits. Everyone looks so happy. And that's actually when it hit me. In order for me to be fully happy, fully fulfilled, I need not just to wear gold. I needed to be gold in the inside. I needed to be genuine. I needed to be original. I needed to be loving. I needed to be a dreamer, and to tap into all of me inside that made me gold. And when I discovered this, I had to share it. I had to share it, right? But it's one thing to say to someone, be gold, but it's another thing to actually be gold. So I developed this 7-step process on how to be gold. And I call this the doc.Peace of mind method. So my brand name for my transformational speaking is doc.Peace, because I'm a doctor of pharmacy and my name is Peace. So doc.Peace. And so this method that I developed is called doc.Peace of mind method. And the reason why it's a method is because I use the power of spoken word. There's a flow attached to each step. And the reason why I do that is because, like I said, spoken word can be so powerful, right? So in order for you to understand that particular step and to apply that to your life, I found that adding a flow, adding this rhythmic poetry message really helps you do that, to help you make forward moves. So that's why it's called doc.Peace of mind method. And it's a 7-step process on how to be gold and to shine your light.
Does this mean whoever uses this method, are they going to have to go into the coffee house and step up to an open mic? Or is this something you can just kind of use at home? Or how does one apply your method?
So you can apply it in various ways. The main message that I want to get across is not everyone's a speaker. Not everyone has the exact gifts and talents that I have, but it's important to tap into your gifts and talents. So this method actually helps you draw out what your innate gifts and talents are, and you start using that. So I have a mini course that really just dives into the ways to be gold and the 7-step process on becoming gold and crafting your story. Not necessarily to take it on a platform, but to share it, to have the ability to share it with your family, your friends, and acquaintances, to build connections and form these authentic relationships. And then I have another longer course called the Golden Speaking Program that not only discusses the gold aspect, but takes you even further on how to share your message on a platform and a step-by-step process on how to do that.
And where do people find those? Do they find that on your website, or where can they learn more about it?
Yes, so doc.peaceofmind.com, doc.Peace, D-O-C, peaceofmind.com. And that has all the information about my speaking, about the offerings that I have, the Golden Program and the Golden Speaking Program, as well as just, there's also a flow gallery on there as well. So you can hear these powerful flows that I deliver at different events, and really help you make those forward moves.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but for listeners who have not ever heard spoken word before, would you be able to give us a small demonstration of that?
Definitely, Luke, definitely. So this particular piece I'm going to speak on is called Mirror Face Off. And just to get us in the right mindset, right, same vibration, so I encourage everyone to take a deep breath with me. Release. In high school, I developed a mirror face, an expression my face would automatically fall into each time I encountered my reflection. I draw my mouth into a thin line in a subconscious attempt to hide the voluptuousness of my full lips. My friends would tease me, placing real and more often pretend mirrors in front of my face to see it contort, and each time that girl in the mirror would comply, presenting herself with my features modified. I've since realized that many of us go through life with our mirror face on, presenting a version of ourselves we want others to see, until eventually our reflection becomes nothing more than a posed existence. It's exhausting. See, even though it's subconsciously done, our subconscious runs over 90% of our entire mind. So soon, that negativity that comes from masking our true selves brings forth more and more negativity and self-doubt. It's no wonder why they say we are our biggest critic. When each encounter with a mirror yields self-ridicule, why do we let ourselves tear ourselves down? It's high time we turn the conversation with our inner selves around. See, we are only as strong as our weakest thoughts. So we must strengthen our minds to welcome only positive vibes. Consider this. Next time we meet ourselves in the eyes, give a self-compliment. Speak life into our lives. The other day, I tried this. I looked myself deep in the eyes, mirror face off, with an attitude of gratitude, praising my features rather than noting my flaws. And my inner self responded, "Thank you for acknowledging my existence. It's you you're intended to be. And if not you, then who would you see when you looked in the mirror? It may be foggy now, but your voice will make it clear. And I said, you're welcome. Thank you.
Man, so much power, authenticity, vulnerability, all within that one piece. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I do. That's my gift that I've been blessed with. And I'm just really honored to be able to share that with you, with everyone, because the Golden Program, the Art of Being Gold, isn't just for speakers. It's for people that are in a transitional stage, that are looking for the guidance, for looking for inspiration. It could be teenagers, young adults, it could be divorced mothers, anyone who's looking for guidance, for some sort of light. And it really comes from tapping into who you are, to pulling out that light in you. And that helps draw the light out in others.
Amen. That's all I got to say to that. Holy moly. You are doing good work, Peace.
Oh, thank you, Terry.
Up just a little bit and ask you the question I ask all my guests.
Okay.
This is the Get Foxy show, so I want to know what your definition of Foxy is. What does Foxy and being Foxy mean to Peace?
The first thing I think of when I think of being Foxy is being gold. It's one and the same to me. When you're Foxy, you are confident, you know who you are. When you're gold, you are confident, you know who you are. And both of those things really help you really not tear people down. It helps build people up because you feel confident in yourself. And yeah, to me, Foxy, it's being gold. You're basically a golden fox.
I like it. I like it. Now, there are times in our lives where we don't feel so foxy, so gold. So how do you go about reclaiming that, regaining that when you've kind of fallen off the wagon, so to speak?
That's a good question. One thing that I've learned is that it's important to find the better thought. Find the positive thought. I know that in life there's always, two options. There's that negative hole that you can go into when you start thinking all those negative thoughts. You're gonna eventually end up in a hole of negativity, or you can choose the positive thought, because in any situation there is that positive thought. That positive thought always exists. So it might take a little bit of energy to find that thought. But once you are able to pinpoint what it is, that positive thought, you can kind of shift into that positive mindset and pull yourself out of that hole.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. When people hear this, I know they are going to want that information on how to work with you. So tell me again one more time how people can find more information about you and how to work with you.
Yes, so you can reach me on all social media at doc.Peace. My name is on my screen, I believe it's doc.Peace. doc.Peace on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm on all the social media channels. And you can also connect with me on my website at doc.peaceofmind.com. Again, it's doc.peaceofmind.com.
All right, there we go. Get Foxy show listeners. We'll have all those links on the show notes for you, but definitely check out Doc Peace's website. Find her on YouTube, Instagram, all the social media. She is definitely somebody you want to take a listen to. She is so dynamic. Peace, thank you so much for taking the time. I have absolutely loved getting to know you and hearing some of your work today. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you for shining your light. Keep shining.